we are going to look at an assignment problem where the number of supply is not equal to the number of demands, right? So if you could look at it clearly that way, the number of operators are more than the number of machines within the industry. When it happens this way, what do we do? That is exactly what we are going to tackle today. When it happens this way, what you do is that you create what we term as what, either a dummy column or a dummy row, depending on the one that is having less number of rows or column, right? So here we realize that we have what, 4 rows, 4 columns, but then the row is what, less, right? So we create what, a dummy. That means that it's not going to have any effect in the system. So if it is dummy, then that means that we must assign what, all the entries what, zero to all the entries. That means that some of these operators are not going to have any operation within the system, right? That is exactly what we are going to do today. So now we are saying that the rule is that anytime you are solving an assignment problem using the Hungarian method, is that you perform what we term as what, row reduction and then column reduction, which is the opportunity cost within the row and the column. And then we have established this within the 2 videos. So I don't need to move much with it. You can keep on watching that and then you understand it. Okay. So here, if you look at the row here, the minimum value we have within this row is what? 0, right? So you subtract from all. The minimum value here is what? 0, you subtract from all. So in this case, what? The number of rows will still have the same entries for the row reduction method. And then after we are done, we move on to the column reduction. So in the column reduction, look at the minimum value here and then subtract from what? The column. Here, the minimum value is 7, right? Within the column. So you subtract 7 from here, that will give us 0. Subtract 7 from here, that will give us what? 2. And then subtract 7 from here, that will give us what? 4. And then finally subtract 7 from here, that will give us what? 0. After we move on to this, here the minimum value is 3, right? So subtracting 3 from this will give us what? 3. This one will give us what? 0. This one will give us 5. And then finally this one will give us what? A value of what? 7, right? Here the minimum value is 2. Subtracting 2 from this will give us 1. This will give us what? A 0. And then this one will give us what? The minimum value was 2, so it will give us 4. And then finally this one will also give us what? 2, right? So here the minimum value is 0, so that will give us what? 0, 0 for the entire what? Entry. After we are done with this, we say the next thing that we will do is to draw the minimum number of lines that could cover all the zeros. And in doing that, you have to always consider what? The row or column with the what? Maximum number of zeros, so that you can finish your lines fast, okay? So here we have more zeros here, so we draw the line to pass through that, right? When we are done, we look at what? Another entry with the maximum number of zeros we could do for this or that, right? So I can do this. Now, when I'm done, I have 2 zeros here, so I can assign this one to as well. There's no any other zeros within the system. So we realize that we have what? 4 columns and then what? 3 rows. But then, so the number of columns is equal to the number of rows. But then it's less than the number of what? Lines. Whenever they are all equal, it means that the system is optimal. So in this case, it is not equal. So we need to move onward and solve for the next, right? So in going to the next, we are saying that all the time, you look at what? Within the entries, you look at the values that is what? Uncrossed. So here, the uncrossed parameters and find the minimum value within the what? The uncrossed values, right? Here, the uncrossed values here is what? 7, 2, 5, 4, and then 3, and then finally we have 1 here, right? So after you've gotten the minimum value within the uncrossed and subtract from all the uncrossed cells, after you're done, you add that particular value, which is the minimum value, to the intersection of the row or whatever, the column, either the column or the row, where the intersection of lines meet. So here we have intersection of lines here. We have intersection of lines here. So you add the minimum value. So here, in this question, the minimum value is what? 1, right? So we have here, let's rewrite the same thing because why? It's a cross. So we have 0. We have our 2 here. We have what? 4. But here we have what? Intersection. So we add the 1 to it. That will give us what? 5. Here we have what? 0, right? So we repeat the 0. Here we subtract 1 from it. That will give us 2. Here we subtract to get 0. Here we have 0, 0. And then here is an intersection, right? So if it's an intersection, we add the 1 to it. That will give us 1. And then this one was 0. So we move on to the next, right? Which is this table. Here we have 0. Subtraction from the uncrossed, that will give us 3. And then this one will give us what? 4. So, and then we move on to this. So, subtracting from this will give us what? 6. Subtract from this, that will give us 1. And then finally, we'll get our 0 here. So, that is all for this. After you are done, we will also move on to draw the number of uncrossed values to see if our number of rows will be equal to the number of columns. And let's do it. We do that by what? Looking at the one with the maximum number of zeros. Here we have 3 zeros here. We also have 3 zeros, so you can do for any of them. So let me do this one. So I've taken this one off. So that the maximum number of zeros I have here is either this, or that, right? So I can take this one away. I have 2 cross. And then finally I can do for this. And I still have 0. So I can either do this or that, right? So you realize that we have 4 lines drawn. And then exactly what we are saying. So after this one, we realize that the number of rows, columns is equal to the number of rows, and is equal to the number of what? Lines. That means that the system is what? Optimal, right? So you move on to do your assignment. So the next thing that we'll do is to our assign the operators to the machines. So we have what? Operator 1, 2, 3, and then finally we have 4. We have our machines, right? And then we have the cost involved in doing this assignment. So we look at operator number 1. So I said always look at the what? The row or column with minimum number of zeros, so that because that one has limited assignment. That is what I said. So if we look at operator 2, it has only 1 0. So that we should just do that one and be free. So operator 2 has only 1 0. So operator 2 will be assigned to machine 4. So operator 2 assigned to machine 4. And then, so after you have taken this 0 off, that means this particular machine cannot be assigned to any, right? So you look at operator 1. Operator 1 can only be assigned to this because that's the only 0 we have, because we have taken this one away. So operator 1 will be assigned to machine 1. And I will go to operator 3. Operator 3 can either be assigned to what? Either 2 or 3, right? But yes, either 2 or 3, any of them will work. So we can assign it to 3. And then we move on to operator 4. Operator 4 can be assigned to machine. But because we have already assigned machine, we've already assigned machine 1. So we cannot use this one. Finally, we have also assigned machine 3, right? And then we have already assigned machine 4. So it's better for us to assign machine 3, which is this one, operator 3 to machine 2. Yes. Because we have that option. Yes. To machine 2. Which are 3 to machine 2. So this one was operator 2 was machine 4. Okay. So finally we can assign operator 4 to machine 3. Yes. Machine 3 here. So we assign machine. So now let's cross check our values again. Now we assign operator 2 to 4 because that was the only entry with the 0, right? And then we move on to operator 2. Operator 1, of which we had, because we have assigned this particular machine, we cannot assign any of that machine again. So operator 1 was assigned to machine number 1, and that was this one. Then we move on to 3. 3, we can either assign to this or that, but we have to check the next. We have assigned this, right? So we have 2 options for this. So if you assign machine 3 to operator 3, that means that what? Machine 4, operator 4 will not get any entry. So we move on by assigning what? Operator 3 to machine 2, so that we can finally assign operator 4 to machine 3, right? Let's look at the cost involved. Okay. So we are saying that anytime we are doing the cost involved, we move on to the original table, which is this. Okay. So we move on to this. So if you come here, what do? You just go and look at what? The assignment. So operator 1 has been assigned to machine 1, so the cost involved is 7. And then operator 2 has been assigned to machine 4, which is the dummy. And that will give us what? 0. And then operator 3 has been assigned to machine what? Machine 2. The 3 has been assigned to machine 2, and the cost is 3. And then we have operator 4 assigned to machine 3, right? Machine 3, then the cost is 3. So the final result will give us a value of what? 13. So the cost involved in doing this is 13. So this is all under when the system is not unbalanced. We just assign dummy row or column depending on where we have the less value. And that will give you your results. Thank you very much. This is all under an assignment problem we have covered so far. Yeah, thank you very much. And there are situations whereby they can also specify that, oh, um, this particular route cannot be used or this machine cannot be assigned to the other. And we know, as we have been doing the simplest, that when it happens that way, we assign a very large value, which is what an infinite value to the other particular row or column. When you do that, it means that what it will not have any what results in our objective function. Therefore, it's not going to affect the system. So that is all we are done. Thank you.